Okay, next up, Mikey, our West Ham fan. Right, I'm going to start. Mike, do you know it's the first time I've had another West Ham fan on, so I'm buzzing that I can actually get to vent.
It's therapy now.
Yeah, it's kind of what it is, mate. Kind of what it is. So, what are your thoughts on that absolute shower of shit that happened yesterday?
Sure, two things. Luckily, I was at work, but there was a TV in the background where I saw most of the goals, but I didn't really know what the score was going on. I just knew we were getting battered. But luckily, no one at work knew I was a West Ham fan. I just kept to myself. I'm just not speaking up. But the other point is that I wasn't surprised at the score. I wasn't surprised at all, because we've seen it about 4 or 5 times this season by big teams like Liverpool and Arsenal, or by teams like around us, sort of like Fulham and Palace. Like we've seen it multiple times, approaching games the same way and expecting different results. The definition of insanity.
Yeah, I mean, you could have seen all of those 4 goals in your tea break. They come so thick and fast. Unfortunately, it was. I was sitting there with my son. I was just like, "This isn't happening." I mean, I was looking back through the results, and I mean, for West Ham, spankings are unfortunately not a one-off anymore. And I know that Moyes keeps saying, "Well, we have these off games," but we conceded 5 against Fulham, 5 against Liverpool, 6 against Arsenal, 5 against Palace, and 4 against Villa. Now, I know there's some good teams in there, but he's supposed to be a defensive manager. So where's it going wrong for Moyes?
Honestly, where's it going right? I think that's a real question. Like, the fact that if you've got more attacking talent than defensive talent, but you choose to be a defensive manager and relying on defenders that can't constantly invite pressure, then this is the kind of results that you get. And also, if you approach the same games the same way, this is also what you're going to get. He's approaching Man City at home same way he'll approach Everton at home. Like, we've seen multiple games where it's the same game plan multiple times. Like, even in a game where, for example, let's say it was like Palace at home where we drew 1-1, we was doing fine at the start, and then Mavropanos makes a mistake and we concede. But then what's the game plan to then go and get another goal? Because once we go a goal up, we just sit back. And a defensive football can only really work if your defense is guaranteed to not concede most of the time. Because if you concede and you're still inviting pressure, you got to eventually come out, then your whole game plan is gone. And I feel like that's what we've seen for most of the season.
Yeah, I mean, it was interesting when I'm talking about the Man United Coventry game. They were 3-0 down, and then they started to play. Mm-hmm. When West Ham go down, Moyes then brings on 2 defenders, like he did at the weekend, and you just think, "What are you doing, man?" It's like it's damage limitation when you're 4-0 down after 30 minutes. It blows my mind. I know we have, we've got the thinnest, oldest squad in the Premier League, but that's Moyes' fault because he doesn't want to sign anyone. I was looking back at the stats, actually. So when he took over in his first season, his first full season, we conceded 47 goals. In his second one, it was 51 goals. After that, it was 55. And now we're already at 63. We've still got Liverpool, Chelsea, Luton, and Man City to play. So that's probably going to be 70. He's not a defensive manager, is he?
No, he's not. He's not. He's not what he thinks he is either. And the thing is, we're talking about squads and old squads and stuff. He also said about Leverkusen, about Xabi Alonso, about him having more options off the bench, but also wanting a small squad. It doesn't make any sense. So what do you want? Like, which one of the ones do you want? We saw what happened against Leverkusen. I think in the first leg, you gave one of the best teams in possession in world football right now all of the ball, and you saw exactly what happened. They are known for scoring late, and they eventually scored 2. And then we pressed them in the second leg. We gave it our all, and fans clapped because that's what they want to see. Not even necessarily just because of the football, but because of the effort and the fact that we felt like we left everything out there. Like, we didn't give them an inch. Alonso took one of his centre-backs off. He made a centre-back change. Like, he changed his centre-back for another centre-back to be better on the ball, and it worked. And he forced Alonso into making substitutions. But Alonso has the privilege of bringing substitutions on because he probably demanded a squad of that size. Moyes doesn't want to demand a squad of that size. And we have such a mishmash of profiles because he claimed a couple years ago on, I think it was Jake Humphrey's podcast, that he's an attacking manager. So then he decides to buy attacking players like Scamacca Pakistan or whatever and gets Mark Warburton as a coach who played attacking football at QPR or whatever. And then we try to play attacking football, even though it just looks, we played the exact same system, the exact same players, didn't integrate anyone in. We're trying getting the same players that played a different style of football in the previous season to play something different the next season, and then we go back to type, and then the players that we bought in that summer, don't fit us anymore. Like it does, none of it makes any sense. If he had just stuck maybe with the counter-attacking football that he had, none of this might have been a problem in the first place.
Yeah, I think the problem we have with our counter-attacking football now, I think, is that Zuma's knees have absolutely gone.
Yeah.
Mavropanos has just got way too many mistakes in him. I'm not a fan of him at all. Kufau's okay. Emerson's when he's injured, he's a bit injury prone. And obviously Areola's out. So we're really struggling in defence. I think when you look at our defence, we probably need a whole new back four.
Yeah.
I'd say we definitely need four. We need a left winger. We don't have. We need two strikers. Moyes is a striker killer. The problem is now, if you're a striker thinking West Ham are looking to sign me, it's like, well, absolutely killed Scamacca, killed Haller.
Yep.
Like these are great players that you just couldn't get a tune
Danny
out
Ings.
because
Even Danny Ings
can't get a sniff.
No.
It's terrible. I don't know who we're going to buy.
That's the thing as well. Like everyone moans at the strikers that play up front for West Ham, no matter who it is. But over the years, we've seen that Mikel Antonio is the only one that's ever fitted what Moyes is trying to do with us. Like just a guy runs down the channels, is a bully, drifts out on the left. And Scamacca is not going to do that. Even Antonio said it himself. Antonio said it himself that Scamacca doesn't fit this system that Moyes wants to do. Like, and it doesn't surprise anyone. It shouldn't surprise anyone that players that are meant to do well at West Ham don't do well, but then go and do well at other clubs. Because it's not just because of a different league, different club. It's because they have a whole system that's based around the players that they actually want. But Moyes doesn't have a plan B. His plan B is bringing on defenders. He did it against Fulham as well. When we got battered, he changed to a 3, and then we conceded 2 more goals. So what difference did it make? We're going to just try and gun for it. It's like he's the same manager that brought that Tottenham comeback where we were 3 goals down at halftime, and we drew 3-3 in the end. And it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. He's like damage limitation, but it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, I think he's definitely lost it. I'd say we're talking to Lewis earlier just around Carlton Morris. I think Carlton Morris is the kind of striker that I think Moyes would want because he's an Antonio type. He's strong, he's bullish. You know, he doesn't give up. He's that kind of older, doesn't conserve his energy. Like that's why Antonio blows after 60 minutes. He just runs around like a nutter.
He does.
Trying to chase down players, which is great when you're trying to press high. You know, he's perfect for that. But yeah, it's just a weird one. So what do you think? Are you a Moyes in or Moyes out?
I'm definitely Moyes out. I've been Moyes out for a while, but I'm one of these people that I feel like I can appreciate what a man's done for the club, but also be like, it's time to go. Like I think it's simple as that. I don't deny his legendary status or anything like that. I don't deny he's given me the best time of my life as a West Ham fan, but I also think that it's gone fairly stale. And I feel like anyone that watched us will understand what we mean. Unfortunately, you got to watch West Ham to understand what we mean, because anyone would just look at random stats on the league table to be like, well, it's not that bad. But as we've gone to this part of the season, and the people that are Moyes in now are running out of stuff to say. They're running out.
Yeah. It's funny, and this is something I got a lot of stick for saying this, actually, Mike. It'd be good to get your take on it. For me, the Europa Conference League is a Mickey Mouse Cup, and I don't really attach any great value to it. But that kept Moyes in his job. Now I have a lot of people going, well, that gave West Ham's a European trophy. It doesn't matter who you play against, but you're playing against clubs which have got the same kind of size and stature of Accrington Stanley and League Two clubs. When you go through all of the attendances, apart from Fiorentina, there's one other that had the same like stadium size as a Championship club. There was a lot of crap there. So I think like Villa will go and smash it. I think it's a competition for Premier League clubs to have a day out. I don't really think it's worthy. It's not like the one we're in now where we got found out, although it was Leverkusen. But for me, I just think that saved his job, and that's why I wasn't happy that we actually won that trophy, because I knew we'd just be suffering with more Moyes ball this season.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like I like the cup because I just wanted to see us win something, and that was it pretty much. But I appreciate the competition for what it is, just because like if you're in it, you might as well go and win it. But I agree with you on the fact that as soon as we won it, and once we settled into the summer transfer window, I was very angry on the fact that we left it until August to sign all these players. and then I kind of knew what the vibe of the season was going to be like. Fair enough, it's a bit higher in terms of league position and what I thought it was going to be. I think I predicted something like 13th at the start of the season. But if you look at how the league is now with the teams around us, they're just as inconsistent as us. They're just as got as many problems as us. That like Brighton, Chelsea, Newcastle, Man United. Like none of these teams are that consistent as it is. They've got their own problems, and and any ambitious club would have been like, well, let the manager end on a high. Then we can see it was going wrong in the league. We can see that the fact that the reason why we won it is because we were way better in terms of squad than the other teams in the competition. We go and do something new with our new technical director, but we've waited until the contract expires. That's what Sullivan like. He doesn't want to pay compensation, and maybe he might pay compensation for Amorim then. But he's decided to just wait until David Moyes' contract expires just to make a decision.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned that you predicted they could finish 13th. We're only 6 points off that, mate. So, that could come true. It's too early to say yet. So you absolutely never know.
Honestly.
You talked about managers there. I know. I think somebody said that he's flown in, but to be honest, lately we're not going to get him, are we? Who do you think we're really going to get?
I have no idea. That's the thing. I have no idea. What will let me know if how this club is serious if we have a manager in advance already and we're letting Tim Steiner do it. And we'll know by the appointment who is making the decision. If it's someone like a Lopetegui, we know it's Sullivan that's doing this because he's been linked with us before. He was linked with us before Tim Steiner was here. Someone like a Fonseca, I've heard good things about. I don't watch Lille though. A lot of people are saying he's decent. I don't know, but I'll be very surprised if we get Amorim. Don't get me wrong. There's a lot of positivity today, but I don't get drawn into that stuff. I just dream, But I have no clue who we're going to get. Literally none, because this club is so unpredictable sometimes.
Yeah, I can tell you. I know Unai Emery's agent actually. Unai Emery was offered to West Ham twice. We've turned him down twice, and the reason that he told me is because Sullivan doesn't want a foreign manager. He's got so burnt with Pellegrini. He said he just doesn't want it. So that's for me why I think it will be a real tough thing for us to get someone that high caliber. I can see it being a Potter. Do you know what I can actually see it being? And this would be so West Ham. It'd be Mark Noble because he'll keep West Ham fans just happy enough at the beginning of the season, but will be relegation fodder at the end, and he'll be a free. I can see that happening. It would drive me nuts, but weirdly, I can just see it'd be so West Ham.
It wouldn't. The funny thing is, it wouldn't surprise me. I think my only hope now is the fact that there would have been no point appointing a technical director if he wasn't going to make his own decision. The thing is, if it was Mark Noble or any ex-player at this club, the problem will be now is we'll have the same as other teams that have had ex-players, that he gets it. It will be their defense of him, but he's not a manager. The guy is there just to be in the background, to link the academy towards the first team and be in the background and scout sometimes. Mark Noble, even when before he was retiring and stuff, people like future West Ham manager. For what? For what? He's not going to be a manager. We don't need to do all this sentiment stuff because that doesn't last in football. That doesn't last. My only thing with the whole foreign manager thing is that obviously everything before Moyes was done by agency, whether it's transfers or manager. Now with Tim Steiner at the helm, we'll see if Sullivan has really taken a step back from the whole footballing side, which I don't know. I have no idea. I just don't get drawn into it. I like what Tim Steiner is there for, but if he's not going to have the ability, have the freedom to hire the manager, then there was no point even having him in the first place.
Yeah, it's a strange one. I think that it's a three-way pull for any players. It just seems to be Moyes versus just Dagan versus the board, who I think we all know have chosen their own players anyway. So yeah, it's a really weird mix there. I don't know. And okay, I'm 46, so I've seen a lot of managers come and go through West Ham, but I don't think any manager I can't remember any manager that's divided the fans as much as Moyes has. He's been he's turned the West Ham fans, I would say, a little bit poisonous. And if you're on as you are on the West Ham forums and listen to other channels as well, there's a lot of kind of hate and people against each other.
Yeah, I think it's funny. Like, it's actually probably the most most of this fan base has been in agreement now under Moyes after that Palace game. I don't know why it's taken for the Crystal Palace game for people to see what others have been seeing. I've been watching other channels, and even like people that are Moyes in and now Moyes out, even like, but it's everyone's like so frustrated. But people always look at us like, "Why are you frustrated?" Well, if you watched us, you'll know. And in my lifetime, like, well, the first time I went West Ham was under Avram Grant, and it's ever since then. I don't think there's been more divide. I think everyone was very unanimous in most of the opinions of the manager. There was a bit of a divide under Allardyce. There was a bit of a divide in Bilic, but not as much in Moyes because of sentiment for me. Mainly sentiment. It's not most of people's arguments for Moyes in is mainly sentiment and past achievements and just stats that they're not, and instead of actually what they're seeing in the games rather than actually, like, if they just commented on, well, I think he's doing this correctly, I think he's using this player well, I think he's using that player well, I think all of this stuff on the pitch, if they use on the pitch reasons, then I would get it. But they're not. They're just using past achievements to try and justify their point in the present, and the past has nothing to do with the present in football.
Yeah, it's time to go. I think we all agree it's time for Moyes to just jog on and do one now.
Yep, honestly.
Mikey, I'm going to get your thoughts just coming back to Lewis and John there. Who are your thoughts for relegation? Just before I get you to answer that, I'm just going to share one of the comments there. Sheffield United, Burnley and Luton are all gone in Boy in Blue podcast's thoughts. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I agree with it. And the problem I have is I hope the Premier League have made their decision about the points deductions with Everton and Forest before the season ends. If it still carries on after the season ends, that's just disgraceful. Because you got to make a decision before the season ends. What are the fan bases meant to do? In the relegation battles, like I think all three promoted teams will definitely go. I think it's been like that for a while. As much as I rate Luton for what they're doing, we're giving it a go and stuff. Burnley and Sheffield United have made their own mistakes. Really, that is their own fault for why they're there.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay, cool. Right, gents, Lewis and John, I'm going to bring you back in. I've got just a few questions, just 5 quick fire questions here. Just love to get your thoughts on. I'm just going to bring these up here. Okay, so I'm going to give you 3 players, and I want us to try and come to a decision who's out of these 3 who is the most unlikable. So we've got Bruno Fernandes, Anthony, or Ashley Young. I think I know one person who's going to say Ashley Young.
Right, actually, I'm going to say Anthony because I absolutely hate him.
I'm going Bruno.
Yeah,
Bruno, Lewis, so you going with on that one?
Yeah, Anthony. The way he reacted to the Coventry fans yesterday was shocking.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, what a prat! Absolute prat to do that against a lower league team that you have scraped by was just low. I think he's just an idiot.
Yeah, I think Bruno Fernandes for me, not even just because of the fouls. I think he's very heavily overrated by Man United fans, in my opinion. Just hyped up to be every time Man United sign a new player, they're hyped up to be the best in the world and world class instantly. And I think Bruno Fernandes doesn't help himself with some of his antics, to be quite honest.
Actually, can I go back on that? Because I just remembered the tweet that Ashley Young put out.
Yeah, I thought you'd say, I've even put the CD in his hand for you, John.
Yeah, I was just, no.
I did that just for you, mate. You're welcome.
Thanks,
okay, next question. Okay, we're going to see who the best manager is. Now, I've taken Pep, Arteta, and Klopp out of the equation here. You got Unai Emery, Eddie Howe, Ange. Who would you, if it was your club, who would you like to have as a manager?
I like the way that Ange puts himself about. And I think he's going to turn Tottenham into a bit of a force in the next 4 or 5 years. So I'll take Ange on that one, guys.
I think if Ange is back to you could really build something at Tottenham. The problem is with Tottenham is, well, do they really back their managers to the fullest? Probably not. I think out of these 3, I'd say Unai Emery. I like all 3 of them, but Unai Emery, he's shown in past seasons with other teams before what he can do and what he's capable of, and I think he's doing really well with Villa.
Yeah, I'm the same with Unai Emery. I can't rate Ange enough because of what he's done outside the Premier League, being in Asia and stuff. I haven't got enough knowledge in that department, but Unai Emery, what he's done, I think he doesn't get enough credit.
But don't you love Ange's post-match comments and post-match interviews, they're brilliant, aren't they?
Yeah.
I don't know
And
if that's just for the
pre-match, they're
cameras, though.
fantastic to watch.
He's just himself as well.
Yeah, I think
Yes.
you do well at a bigger club than Tottenham as well.
Same.
You know, I think it's one of them. Unlike Arteta, when I watch Arteta's post-match, you just like, oh, turn off, boring.
Yeah,
There's some managers that you just switch off, and Ange isn't like that. There's not enough characters in the game, so I like Ange.
definite character.
Yeah.
Okay, next question is the worst manager. Which manager would you
here we
not
go.
sponsor at your club? Ten Hag, Poch, or Moisey?
Oh.
That's a tough one.
You know what? Even as much as I've complained about Moyes this season, some of the stuff I see Ten Hag do, some of it's just ridiculous. Like when I watch Man United, I don't know, like just structurally the way they look on the pitch. Like sometimes they don't even have a midfield. But I would say Moyes, he hasn't gone to still has a higher level that Poch and Ten Hag has.
I'm going Ten Hag for Mitchell because he absolutely hates him.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the United boss. Every time I watch United play, I don't know what their style of play is. Whereas with Moyes and Poch, you know what they've done stuff in their career. With him, I can't quite work it out.
Yeah, I think anyone who's come from Ajax and takes Anthony over Kudus as well.
Yeah.
He's no idea what he's doing.
He hasn't even got a plan A, let alone a plan B.
No.
It's strange. I speak to a Man U fan earlier, and I was just saying that the two players he wanted to get rid of were McTominay and Harry Maguire, who probably are two of their better players. Certainly McTominay.
Absolutely.
It's really
McTominay's
good.
their second highest goal scorer, I think. And Harry Maguire's been playing pretty well for him. He tried to get him out, but he just couldn't fit him through the door at West Ham, could he?
No, I don't take him
Maguire
off.
didn't want to come.
No.
Needed him. Okay, next one. Who are the biggest overachievers? Brighton sat in 10th. Luton in
obvious
18th.
answer here. Yeah, I'm saying us because we've got a mid-table championship team, and the fact that we're still in for a shout of staying up, and we've got 4 games remaining in the Premier League season it's just unreal. And if we do stay up, and it's without any point deduction help, Rob Edwards deserves manager of the season. To do it on our budget is just incredible. Literally, we still got League 2 players. So what does that tell you?
I agree. Yeah, I agree to a degree. But I think up until about the past month, Villa's been there or thereabouts and could have really pushed on, but they've dropped down a bit. But I do like Luton manager and Luton team as well. So as long as they, I don't know. As long as they don't stay up over points, but if they have to stay up, they have to stay up. It is what it is, isn't it? But yeah,
I also think Brighton have taken a step back this season.
Yeah,
They have. Yeah.
Yeah, I still think they punch above their weight, but yeah, I think that you're probably right that one. I was struggling for the third, I must admit.
to be honest, you know what I said to Mark last week as well, and you'll agree with me. Luton and Forest being new teams up into the Prem, we're exactly where we should be. We should be dancing around with relegation. We're not going to come in and hit top 6, top 10, even top 15. You know, so any manager that keeps a newly promoted team in the Premier League, like Cooper did last year for Forest, deserves all the credit they get.
Yeah, I have to agree with Luton being probably the biggest overachievers because I expected somewhat of a big European push from Aston Villa at the start of the season. I didn't expect 4th, but I think with Luton, I think they were written off the most probably at the start of the season. So they're definitely the biggest overachievers.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, I think what Emery's done at Villa has been fantastic. I wouldn't have pegged, same as you, Mikey, I wouldn't have pegged him 4 because I probably would have said top 10, maybe top 8 and to get to full volley. Watkins obviously had the season of his life, so that helps. But if Luton survive, he's got to be in with the shout for manager of the year. So they're going for it.
So he's not going to get manager of the year then?
No. Good looking manager of the year, but not best manager.
Okay, which club has the worst fans?
It's easy.
City.
Tottenham.
Yeah.
No bias at all.
Yeah.
But yeah, Tottenham. Very easy. I think they're bigger than they are.
I'll go with Tottenham as well all day long. Always chirping up. 1-0. John?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to skip this one.
Don't upset me.
I don't upset you, Mark, and I don't want to set my mate Bill, who supports Tottenham, and I've got no love for Man City, so probably Man City, because they expect to be there, but they're always there and thereabouts, but they're going to smash us at the weekend, so it doesn't really matter.
Lewis?
Yeah, I'm going with City. When they went top of the league against us, they had a half an empty stadium. I know it's against Luton, but if you just go top of the league, surely you want to celebrate with the team and, and create a bit of an atmosphere. It's an half empty stadium as well. Not for me. A tweet went out recently that a Luton fan called Man City just basically Saudi with like an MK Dons franchise with Saudi money.
Yeah.
Pretty much, yeah, spot on. Without the money, they're not where they are.
I can tell there's no comment come up, so I think typical Man City fan John, the Boys in Blue podcast, must be grabbing a cup of tea. So I'll close that one down, not upset him. But chaps, thank you very much for coming on. Really do appreciate it. Good luck with the run in, Mikey. Let's good luck. We get a good manager. Come on,
yeah,
please.
hopefully.
Yeah, have a great evening, everyone. I will be back here next Monday, 8:00. So do catch us. And if you want to come on to the show, that we're always up for having new guests. So please feel free to drop us a message and we'll get you back on.